What's up, you guys? It's Kyle, and oh my god, my mind is hurting right now. It is so confused over all these different programs that the government is bringing out. And in this video, I'm gonna go over all my recent findings between the EIDL program, the PPP, and the unemployment option, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've been seeing tons of videos being made every day, and I've been watching them, and then I've been seeing the same person make another video contradicting information that he said the day prior in a previous video. It is confusing. Frankly, it's too much information to keep track of on YouTube. So today I had talked to my CPA as well as my financial advisor to get their take on everything and have gotten their best course of action to take in this matter. Now, if you watch this video to the end, I will throw in a bit of information that I guarantee is not out there in any other video out there on YouTube today. So the first step that you must take is to smash the like button below because it helps with the YouTube algorithm, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell so you will get notifications every time I post a new video. And last but not least, follow me on Instagram because you will get other aspects of my life as well. So let's get right into it. Now, the first thing I'm going to cover is the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. If you have not submitted your application for this yet, there is a link below on submitting your application. So the first thing I'm going to cover is the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. If you have not submitted to this yet, do it. There is a link below on how to submit your application. So the application process is pretty easy for this. It honestly takes about 5 minutes online. I did this over a week ago. You can go online, you can do this about 5 minutes. It's pretty easy and seamless. Now, since this came out, there's been so much different news coming out about this grant. It's essentially a totally forgivable grant, and all you have to do is submit some information online and apply for it, and you should get the $1,000 to $10,000 grant. Now, initially, everybody thought they were just going to get an automatic forgivable loan of $10,000. However, recent news came out that it depends on the number of employees. You will get $1,000 per employee. So go online and submit to this. If you are an independent contractor and one sole entity of a business, it is going to be $1,000 and it's up to $10,000. So that's all you can. If you have more than 10 employees, you will get up to a $10,000 loan considering all the employees you have. Now, you might be asking, are they checking this? The answer and the short of it is no. They are just doing what, from what I've heard, is a credit check. So this is why you got to enter your information. Now, if you are, I've also heard of some people putting 0. If you are an independent, one sole entity, you are essentially an employee of that business. So you always want to put at least 1 there. I'm not telling you to lie and put more number of people that you actually have working at the company, but at least put 1, because you, obviously being the owner of the company, are going to have 1 employee that you have working at the company. So at the very least, put 1 there. You will get $1,000. And it's up to $10,000 if you have 10 employees. Now, the timeline for this is supposed to be within 3 days, which is what it says. However, I am just hearing now that some people are receiving their EIDL grant and they've applied back in March 29th. So it definitely takes a little more than 3 days that was originally said. Now, this is the one thing that I don't hear anybody really talking about because they're all just up in arms about not receiving the full $10,000. If you do apply for the PPP program, this EIDL will get subtracted. So whatever you do apply for with the PPP program, it will get subtracted already. So if you only get $1,000 from the EIDL, you will only get $1,000 subtracted from the full amount that you will get from the PPP. So if you get the full $10,000 up front, you will get the $10,000 subtracted from the amount that you apply for and get approved for the PPP program. Listen to me, watch the rest of this video, but when in doubt, apply for this. Trust me, it cannot hurt. The link for the EIDL application is below. So now I will cover the PPP loan. The PPP loan opened up to small businesses as of April 3rd. Now, as of April 10th, it had opened it up to independent contractors and 1099 employees. So this loan amount caps at $100,000 per employee, which means that no matter what the person made, it will cap at $100,000 if the person made over $100,000, which is the case I'm in. But unfortunately, if you do make over the $100,000, this is how you calculate your loan amount that you're gonna make. You take the $100,000, divide that by 12 months, which is 8,333 per month, then you take that number and you times it by 2.5. 2.5 is just the number that the government gave as a formula to be able to ideally keep you afloat for the time period that you'll need it. So if you take that 8,333 times 2.5, you'll get to a $20,833 loan amount that you should get for a capped employee that makes over $100,000. And unfortunately, that's just what it's gonna come down to. It's gonna be based on whatever your 1099 is or whatever you made the previous year or the previous 12 months. There was so much confusion on this at first when this first came out. Now, as a real estate company owner, originally, even talking to my CPA and financial advisor, we had figured that the best course of action on this was to submit as a company and then use everyone's 1099s and be able to divide that up by weekly pay and disperse that on a weekly basis. This is not the case. It came out after the fact that instead we submit just as a company, but each employee, each 1099 person will have to submit an application on their own. Now, you are supposed to be able to spend this money on approved things to make this a forgivable loan. Now, what this means is this. Ideally, it's supposed to be allocated that 75% goes towards payroll, at least 75% goes towards payroll, and you can use that extra 25% towards whatever business expenses you need, which is kind of where the 2.5 number comes in and how they calculate it. So, for instance, if you are your own employee, say you're a 1099 contractor, you don't really have to worry about this because you are one employee that goes towards payroll costs. So that number, that money that you're going to be essentially paying yourself, which is around the $1,900 amount per week, is going to go towards you. And then the rest of it can be business expenses, and there's tons of different approved options as far as rent, utilities, business expenses is concerned to be able to use the rest of that 25% of the loan amount for that. Now, the timeline on this, they are not saying it's the 3 days. It's obviously gonna take a bit longer and it's much more involved to get the PPP program. Now, I would suggest you going through whoever you have your business checking account in, or at least that you have some kind of account in. So for instance, we have our business checking account in TD Bank. So that's where I'm gonna try to get a loan out of first. However, if you are involved in another bank that you have an account in, I'm sure they're going to give you preference there because banks are tending to give preference over people that have their accounts set up already and are existing customers rather than outside members, because banks and lenders are just getting inundated right now with these applications. So I would definitely try to go to your first bank that you have some kind of account set up first at. I know that unfortunately some big banks like Wells Fargo are even stopping taking applications because they're getting so overwhelmed with these applications. So lastly, I want to talk about unemployment. Now, unemployment is another option, and this varies from state to state, but I would use New Jersey as an example, which is where we are based in. New Jersey has a maximum of $700 per week for their unemployment benefits. So as much as you made, the max amount is going to be $700 payable. Now, the federal government has also made a surplus where they will add another $600 on whatever amount you are approved for through unemployment. So in this case, that unemployment, the max you can get in New Jersey is the $700 plus the $600, which is $1,300 per week. Now, why this is so important is because it depends on the individual whether the PPP or the unemployment route makes the most sense. Say, for instance, a 1099 employee that makes $50,000 per year. Now, per month, that's going to be $4,166. If you take that amount times the 2.5, you're just going to be right over $10,400 for the full PPP SBA loan amount. Now, this is how you calculate unemployment. And hold on, because I'm going to get my notes on this because I do not want to get this wrong. So for unemployment, to estimate how much you might be eligible to receive, You add together the gross wages in the 2 highest quarters during that period, divide by 2, then multiply by 0.0385 to get your weekly benefit amount. Now what this means is, so now say for someone that made $50,000, that might be $481 if you take that calculation, but if you plus on top of that the $600 which comes in from the government also on top of it, that makes out to $1,081 a week payout for unemployment. So in the 10 weeks, that's going to be $10,812. And that is over the PPP loan amount, which in unemployment, you can actually stay longer than the $10,000, granted you aren't working. So this changes the game. Now here's my bonus that I was talking about in the beginning of the video for consideration. I was asked this question yesterday because someone was confused and was worried that the PPP amount of money might dry up, and they rather thought that going for unemployment would be the safe route. This is the question that I asked my CPA today, and his answer was the following. Just apply for both. Apply for the PPP loan and apply for the unemployment, because frankly, whatever comes in first, you can deal with it later. So say for instance you apply for both, or say for instance you just apply for the PPP and you never get it because the money dries up. But if you apply for the PPP and the unemployment, and you start getting the unemployment, and then all of a sudden the PPP comes in, you can stop the unemployment and just take the PPP and claim that. So look, no one's trying to do anything illegal here. Of course, I do not know the best course of action to take, but everybody is trying to do something here, and everybody is trying to figure this all out. And we're not trying to do the wrong thing, we're just trying to do the right thing. And with limited resources and limited information, this sounds like a great option to me. So I would say just submit for both, try to go for the PPP, but also try for the unemployment benefits. And hey, if the PPP never comes in for you, at least you submitted and you are on unemployment and you are getting those benefits. Thank you guys so much for staying with me throughout this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please destroy the like button below and also subscribe and hit that notification bell so you will get notifications every time I put out a new video, as well as follow me on Instagram so you will get other aspects of my life as well. And please, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this, and if you have anybody that you want to share this with, please share this video with them if you think it will help. I hope to hear from you soon. Other than that, stay happy and healthy and safe, and thank you guys very much.